all my Leo friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your January 2025 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I'm talking about Leo, I'm referring to Leo rising as being the first house and dictating the landscape of the chart. When I mention a day and a time, it's based on the Pacific time zone. So please adjust for your location. The month, oh, Happy New Year, by the way. Let me start off there. The month starts off pretty tense. We have an opposition between Pluto and Mars. We have Mars retrograde about to move into Cancer, which is your 12th house. We have Uranus retrograde and basically stationed at 23 degrees of Taurus for almost 3 months, a little bit over 3 months. And Jupiter is also retrograde. This is all starting. Let me pull up the chart and show you what's going on. Okay, so here we see in your first house, Mars is at 1 degree in an opposition to Aquarius in your 7th house. This dance has been going on for quite some time. Mars was going through your 12th house in the fall of 2024, and it moved into Leo. And at the time, it made an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. Now Pluto has moved into Aquarius. And I think that this gives Pluto the advantage in this argument, because Pluto really wants to move you into the future. It wants to let go of the old hurts, the old resentments, the old things that make you hot, that actually stop you. And I think that this argument is supported by the nodes. The nodes are as you can see, the 0 degree of Aries and Libra. Libra is your 3rd house of thought, of your speech, of your childhood experience. Many ways it rules our grammar school and early childhood, our siblings. And then we see in the 9th house is Aries, and that is your belief house, the house where you have opportunities to not only feel the energies of foreign places, foreign people, new and exciting experiences in that respect, but also to see the diversity of the world, and yet looking at it through the lens of Aries' pioneering spirit. And I think that is the little bit of the challenge here is that as Mars moves back into your 12th house of Cancer, it's going to stoke up something that has to do with the Cancerian energy, the energy that is nurturing and healing, that has to do with family and home and hearth, and the maternal experience. So I do think that this is a challenging dynamic. Let's go now to the 3rd. And I want to say this for you, Leo, because you're a fiery little sign. It would be very wise to watch people who piss you off while Mars is transiting your 1st house right now. Just if you know there's people that actually grate on your nerves, the greatest thing you could do is just to, send them to voicemail, and then when you're ready and prepared, engage, because there's a lot of triggering energy going on right now. So as we get to the 3rd, we see Venus has entered her exaltation in Pisces, your 8th house, of other people's money, of transformation in the form of, rising like the phoenix from traumatic situations. And I think that this is supported by the Piscean energy, that you best are served through your spiritual practices. Even creativity is a spiritual practice. So as Venus moves into this house, she becomes the focal point of a transit yod. And what a yod is it's also called the finger of God. And the apex is the point that is supported in a sort of strange way by these 2 legs. First of all, we see Mars. So this would be about being brave. And then this would be, the South Node would be about being egoless to a situation that you cannot change, that's already taken place, and potentially a pattern of thought that doesn't serve you anymore, that isn't balanced, it isn't creating peace and harmony for you. So that I think is very interesting. And we see the moon is right at this particular time, 12 p.m. The moon is going to move very quickly. But be mindful during this time. Now, again, Venus is in exaltation. This is a high point for her. She's welcome. She's not only welcome, she's revered. It's like the whole house has been preparing for her entry. The other thing that's going to happen is that as we move into the spring, there's going to be a stellium growing in this house. Venus is going to move all the way through it, go into Aries, which is your 10th house, and then your 9th house, and then she's going to retrograde back into Pisces. And at the same time, Mercury is going to join this party. So it's going to get pretty intense when it comes to transformational opportunities. On the 6th, we will see Mars fall back into your 12th house. And again, this is still in an opposition to Pluto, but this is going to go all the way back to 17 degrees, I believe it is, and that's until February. So again, there's going to be a real revisit of anywhere where old stories that you haven't asserted yourself in a way that is authentic to your truth, but potentially a little bit hot. I'm just gonna throw it out there. We see Mercury right now is on the galactic center, and 27 degrees of Sagittarius, and any planets you have in your natal chart near within 1 to 2 degrees, I think 3 degrees tops, that planet supports your ability to download solutions and divine information and inspirations from the universe. So here we see Mercury offering you in Sagittarius is your 5th house of creativity, self-expression, of fun, of entertainment, giving you an opportunity to not be able to see how you'll take action. Because again, now we've got Mars in your 12th house. So that's even further making it kind of an invisible energy. So this is sitting underneath the surface that you may not even be aware of, because that quincunx is a blind spot. But here, through your focused thought or your intentional thought, you do have an opportunity to make a shift. Not a shift, I shouldn't say a shift, have an awareness. That's a much better way to put it, because we do see tense aspects between Neptune and the nodes up to Mercury. But Mercury's the fight between the monkey mind and the bigger thoughts. Mercury is also in detriment here in Sagittarius. And yet at the same time, I think that awareness of how the human mind is the vessel and the vessel for the expression of emotion. I don't believe that people communicate independently of their emotions. I think their emotions set the platform. So this is an opportunity to download solutions through intentional conversation with the universe, your guides, your angels, and whoever you believe supports you on your journey here on Earth, because it's definitely a journey. Okay, let's go over to the 9th. And in the 9th, we will see that Mercury's moved into Capricorn and it's still squaring Neptune. And I think this is an argument a little bit between, and the North Node, between practical, realistic, earthbound thoughts. A lot of people would say the table I'm sitting at is a solid piece of furniture. And I, because I know better, would say it's just a bunch of dense molecules that appear to be a solid piece of furniture, which can be very annoying to some people. But that's what I think is going on. Neptune's representing the awareness that these are just dense molecules, and Mercury is saying, but this is a table. It's a kind of random example, but that's what's going to go on in this square. So you're going to be tasked over and over again in your Capricorn energy, your 6th house energy, where your mind has been enslaved to certain thoughts. And you're being called forth to be practical because of the Capricorn energy. The practicality is building that strong foundation with your spirituality. And I think that's further evidenced by Saturn's journey through your 8th house of transformation and the subconscious. On the 12th, the nodes will change signs for the next year and a half. I will be doing a separate video on that. This is the Pisces Virgo axis. And again, Pisces is your 8th house of transformation. Virgo is your 2nd house of your skills, your self-worth, your ability to make money. This is a money axis, the 2nd and the 8th. Here, there's going to be great transformation offered to you as you take a spiritual approach to how you create and expand your wealth. And then you're going to be tasked to be very mindful about self-criticism, perfectionism, even being critical and expecting perfection from other people. This is a 1.5-year transit. And as I said, I will be doing a separate video on that because it's a pretty intense access, actually. There's a lot that has to do with health and mental well-being here. Okay. On the 13th, we will see a full moon in your 12th house of Cancer. I will be doing a separate video on that. This moon will be conjunct Mars, so it will be very emotionally charged. And you could not know where the emotions are coming from. That's the thing. Okay, let's go to the 19th, where we will see an exact conjunction between Venus and Saturn at 16 degrees. I really believe that as Saturn has transited through Pisces this last 1.5 years or almost 2 years now, well, I should say 1.5 years really, it's really compelled and almost demanded that we create a strong foundation with the divinity within us, to take from the invisible and to bring visible into the 3D world our belief system and how we are individually co-creators within our life. Now, Venus is here not only talking about partnerships and about, her skills, her beauty, her comfort, her luxury, her good food. She's also wanting to build a strong sense of herself and potentially building clients. She rules money, and this is your 8th house. It's a money house. So Saturn is saying, are you willing to do the hard work of first going into the being energy, which I don't know if Leo is always so good at doing, because Leo is sort of fiery and passionate and ready to take action. And yet at the same time, it can get tripped up and be like, will people appreciate what I have to offer? And this conjunction is sort of saying, this is about you, and Venus representing how you feel about you. And if you love what you're creating, others will join the fold. And I believe that this is evidenced by the trines that are happening right now with Mars and even the midheaven here, and this little sextile right here between the North Node and the Sun. I think it's just kind of coming together. Pretty little picture. Okay. We also will see the Sun. The Sun is in a conjunction with Pluto the next day. They're exact. And, this is very interesting to me because for me, this is your 7th house of peace and harmony. It's also partnerships, and both professional and contractual. The astrology traditionally says that the sun combusts a planet when it's next to it. It's so bright, it kind of outshines it. And yet when I look at this, I think that Pluto is the furthest planet that we know of in our solar system, in the darkest part of the solar system. And the sun is our ego. It's also your ruling planet. So in this conjunction, I think it's really bringing up something that's sitting underneath the surface, and potentially something that is not offering you full expansion. It's anchoring you in. And I think that is represented by the opposition from Pluto to Mars and what you've been experiencing through that retrograde. So this to me is really powerful. I think the sun here becomes aware of, or becomes somehow like almost in a haunting way, like something sitting behind the surface here. And I'm like, wow, I really want to move past that. I want to move into my future. I don't want to worry about the old things that have been my traumas and my challenges. Pluto's very, very traumatic, very crisis-oriented planet in some ways. Okay. Now we go to the 22nd, and we will see that there's a trine between Venus and Mars. It's not too tight, but tight enough right now. And it's sort of, to me, this is a little bit where now we're feeling a little bit more support. And this honestly could be a forgiveness energy for me, where Venus and Saturn kind of come together and realize that we take action sometimes, we react. That's a way to put it. And the reaction can be based on an old history, but now we're rewriting, we're transforming that history and rising like the phoenix from it. This is the water signs are always going to support each other. That's their natural job. But when we look at really Pisces and Cancer supporting each other, it's so empathetic. Scorpio is a little bit tougher, even though it's supportive. It's a little bit tougher in in its intensity. Here, there's a softening of this. So I almost feel like it's calling forth a gentility for yourself as you become aware of things that you may not have been aware of before. And then you don't go into some sort of, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or any regret. I hope that didn't get too convoluted. Okay. On the 27th, we see Mercury enter Aquarius. And well, I'll go to the 28th. There we see Mercury and Pluto in an exact conjunction. Now we just had the sun there. So they were having a conversation about the ego and about how I express myself out in the world here, how I create harmony. And now here's, this planet representing my mind. And we've got it in a sign that represents genius, and the Pluto representing like the detective underneath it all. So there's going to be a real focus on some level for Leo to look at the seventh house energies. Do the people and partnerships I'm engaging in create peace and harmony for me? What do I want my future to look like? Where are my hopes and dreams? And how can I also, in my own personal harmony, help contribute to the collective consciousness? Because that's Aquarius energy. Okay, now on the 29th, we'll have a new moon in Aquarius. Again, I'll do a separate video on that. So let's go to the 30th, where we see Uranus go direct in Taurus. Taurus is your 10th house of career, public status. It's a house of leadership. And it's also, the Taurus energy is a historic house. It's a personal history house. It's your skills. It's your another building house where you grow things, you use your skills to create abundance for yourself. Uranus has been transiting through this sign since like 2017, and it's going to tip its toe into your 11th house of Gemini a little later in the year, and then retrograde back. But before that takes place, Uranus stays at 23 degrees for almost 3 months. Starts December 19th, retrograde. And then as it moves forward on the 30th, it does not move 1 degree until March 12th, 2025. I think this is very significant because it's going to make more and more it gives it such a powerful energy for rebellion, for demanding a move into the future, not to stay stuck in the past where I'm kind of been going around in a circle. That's the way I want to put it. I think that this is a demanding energy from Uranus. And again, because it's sitting in the sky, it's literally the other planets will be moving sort of around it, at least the personal planets making aspects to it. But yet Uranus is the one holding strong for that, demanding to move into the future, demanding to integrate the past and build upon it. So wild and yet so fabulous. All right, let's go to the last day of the year. And here we see Venus in an exact conjunction now to Neptune. And this is super dreamy, super creative. It is, these two are best friends. The wine is flowing. There's, charcuterie boards everywhere. Good music is playing. We're talking about our creative futures. It's lovely. Now, we do have this conjunction to the nodes, and this is where, again, where I'm stretching for that connection to understand that my creative dynamic, how I feel about myself is my spiritual expression, and to let go, Virgo South Node, any, human judgmental energies where I criticize and nitpick and expect things of myself that I haven't, fully experienced and been able to birth. It's kind of that perfectionist energy. So I think that's a pretty powerful way to end the month. We see that that Mars is still transiting through your 12th house. And I just want you to be aware of that, because to me, for my Leos, you could inadvertently feel hot, not know why you're feeling hot. It could be just an underbelly of aggravation with people because, maybe you've been giving and not receiving. So be mindful and take care of yourself. I really truly believe that as we put ourselves as a priority, it's not selfish, it's selfless, because we become better and more able to be there for other people. Okay. All right, my Leos, that's it for the first month of the year. This is a huge year, not only for you as an individuals, but for us as a world community. There's a lot of transformational energies going on within various countries that are going to affect us. So, and we all know that the United States presidential transition will take place in January. At least that's the expected thing right now. We'll see what happens with Uranus. But yeah, so it's all good. Take care of yourself. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Oh, and be sure to check out the end of the video. There'll be links for your yearly 2025 monthly highlights, where I went through each month and pulled out what I think are going to be the most influential aspects for you. And then there's the love and money tarot card readings that I'm doing every month. So look for those. There's going to be lots of content, and I'll be back live January 5th. That's Sunday mornings. At 11 a.m. Pacific time. And that's where we do a tarot card reading and get the angels' advice for the week ahead's transits. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Love on you, Leos. See you soon.